Hi everybody, it's Barbie from Nellie and Ruth Designs, and today I wanted to show you what I did over the weekend. But first of all, I'd like to thank you for joining in, and if you've watched any of my previous videos, thank you as well regarding that. So today, like I said, over the weekend I made some master boards, and I'm going to try to put some little kits together and put them in my shop. But I know a lot of times people have a hard time with master boards. So that's why I thought I would make some up for those who don't have the scraps, who do have a hard time with them. They just can't figure the configuration, how to start, or whatever. Let me show you what I made. And these here, you're going to see they curl a little bit. I put these on a lightweight, I wouldn't even call it a cardstock, but what I will do after I cut these, the end pieces that may curl, I will adhere them to another piece of cardstock, and that will make them nice and straight. But these measure, let's see, I think they're approximately 16.5 by 11. So on the back of this one here that I had initially done, this is actually what you can get out of this. You can get 4 4x6 tags or journaling cards. You could get 2 3x6, a 3x5, a 3.5x5, and a 4x5. That is if you want them, of course, that size. There's nothing stopping you from doing 2x3, by doing, if you have a larger page, a 5x7. You can cut these however you like. But let me show you the ones that I created over the weekend. This one here. And again, I just used, all of my scraps that were hanging around. This was a letter that someone had wrote me a long time ago, and I just thought the stationery was very, very pretty. So I wanted to incorporate it in this one here. And then I did this with the blues. And you'll notice here that because some of these pieces were a little bit larger, I have a lot of the smaller pieces where I rip and tear to add to a board. So I'll just go ahead and I'll add a few here and there just to give a little bit more color in an area. Down here, these were just basically, three, like laying 3 bricks together that need to be broken up. So I laid one there. This was you can see, a fairly large piece. So I put 2 along here, again, just to add a spot of color and to break it up. Again, over here, I thought it was just too uniformed with the 4 pieces here being so straight. I added this little piece here. So with Masterboards, you can make them however you want. Now, again, you'll notice here, I ripped most of my paper and I used this Creative Memory edger. I don't really know what you call it. I call it an edger. And I really like these because you just rip your paper using that. This one here, I did just square cuts. So it's a little more geometric. And again, I took some of the longer pieces here and added them. But these I cut all ahead of time before I laid them down on the board. This one I like. Oh, I think this is very pretty with the blues. And then again, here's some of that writing paper. And then I started adding a little bit of the little red areas to make it pop. And then this was the final one that I made. So I wanted to show you today. Now, normally most people just take these and they cut them up into their desired sizes to make tags and journaling cards. What I wanted to show you, another idea that you could do is you could add, you wouldn't want to add this whole block. So we're going to fussy cut this out, this little flower. Let me move these out of the way so it's not so, there you go. You can actually see. And the only reason I would be adding some of these, I'm not going to add it to all the pages, but some that I just think could use, just a variety, just a different, just a little bit different version. So this one I'm going to keep the way it is and just cut and embellish. This one here, maybe I'll add to this because this is so rough with the squares and the straight edges. We could use these to soften some areas up. This one here, I wouldn't add anything to. I would do my cuts and then I would make my cards. Same with this. Might add something over in here. This one I might add to because it's squares. This one I wouldn't add anything to. But let's start with this one. And I did have one gal ask me how I got my papers to lay down without them coming up. Well, as you can see, to make the boards, I do use the Yoo-Hoo stick, and sometimes I think it dries out too much. So you can see here where this one didn't really want to stay down. So I'm just going to put a little bit of the art glitter glue on it to adhere that. And I'll be using the art glitter glue to adhere some of the little extras. And it'll probably help if I got my glasses on. So let me get my mat. And I'll just do a little cutting here. And I think, let me cut this here. I know a lot of gals, when they cut, they'll just take their scissors. This may have been one where I could have taken my scissors. I feel more comfortable working with an X-Acto knife. I'm just going to bring this down. I spent all morning grooming my one doodle. I have two doodles, Bella and Daisy, and they both needed, I don't think I gave them a haircut. It was right after Thanksgiving and before Christmas. And we have a ton of snow where I live. And we're getting more snow today. Another storm is coming in. We're supposed to get another 12 inches. And I'm so tired of the snow. So I figured today would be a good day to start to groom them. Normally it takes me 2 or 3 days to groom little Daisy. Daisy's actually, she's about 40 pounds. And Bella is, I'd say, 55 to 60. Daisy has very fine hair. And when she goes outside to play in the snow, it really gets matted down and she gets knotted. So it takes me a couple days usually just to brush her out. Because with doodles, when you groom them, you have to have every single knot and little fur ball knot out of them. Otherwise, the clippers, the electric shears, will not run through them and they'll get caught. when I was first starting to groom them, it would just take me almost 2 days to brush and comb, and I would get very discouraged. My groomer moved away last year just before COVID took hold, and I lost my groomer. And then, of course, when COVID hit, everything shut down. And when I tried to find a new groomer, they weren't taking new clients. So I went and I bit the bullet, and I bought the professional grooming table, the large blow dryer. I used to have Springer Spaniels, and I groomed all of my Spaniels. So the girls actually get a Springer Spaniel cut because that's what I'm used to doing. And for some reason, they come out looking like a perfect doodle. There was one gal I used to take them to after Molly moved away, and her name was Barbie as well. And I couldn't afford her. And every time I picked up my girls, they came out looking like a standard poodle, and that's not what I wanted. So I just decided that I needed to take matters into my own hands and start grooming them myself. So that's what I did this morning. And of course, when I do groom my dogs, I set my iPad up and I watch Gail Agostinelli on YouTube, because that's really the only time I can catch up on Gail's videos, because she makes a video every day. She posts one every day, and I can't watch them every day, but I do like Gail. So if you're not sure you've seen Gail, or I'm going to make a little bit of a cut here because I want the paper to come through. Look up Gail Agostinelli. She has great videos and great ideas, and she's just a joy to watch. All right, so I have this one cut out, and I'm going to put this one right here. And I'm not too concerned about covering. I mean, if I wanted, I'm not concerned about covering this one up, because this actually, you can see a little bit through there, but it does soften it a little bit. So I'm going to get this on here. I'm going to move this so I can see what I'm doing. And I do have, normally if I was working on a postcard or a tag for my journal or scrapbook, I wouldn't bother to make sure the glue was all over. I would just go around the edges. But you have to remember, when you're working with a Masterboard and you're going to be cutting, you have to glue the whole piece that you're working with, because when you slice it into whatever size you want, it has to all be glued down. And there goes my glue once again, running over, and I still have no idea why it does that. I'm just going to wipe my fingers here. So you have to make sure that it's all glued, because say if you cut this here, let me get my ruler. So say you want to make a tag. All right, so here's a 4. Here's 4, and then you're going to do your 6. So hypothetically, let's just say this part here is cut off. Let's get a piece of paper. So this part here is cut off, okay? And you've used this side, and you've made a 4x6 tag, and maybe you've made a 2x2 or a 3x3. So now you're working with this part here. So if you want to make a say 3.5, here's 3.5 by, so this would be 3.5 here, and then you want to go 5. 5 is only going to bring you to here. So you will have this top part, and I think what I'll do is after this is done, I can cut it so you can see why you might want to add. This just adds texture in another dimension after you cut your pieces out. Okay, so we'll put that one there. This one here I'm going to cut out. And like I said, I know a lot of people, well, a lot of gals, they just cut their pieces out and then they embellish. And that's usually what I do most of the time. But this is just another little aspect. And again, it softens up some of these square pieces that have been placed down. And when you're creating art, I don't think there's any rules. You can just do whatever you like. I have to be careful because sometimes I'll wield this X-Acto knife around and I'll cut my finger. This morning I was a little overzealous when I was clipping Daisy's toenails. And my son had come home for lunch on his work break, and I asked him to help me with her because she doesn't really like to have her little toenails clipped. And I don't know if I was talking, but she had one toenail that I just clipped too far, and she let me know it. I felt so bad, but I'm glad I had that quick stop because it was bleeding pretty bad, and I felt so bad. It turns my stomach. I'm usually very careful, but she just had one little toenail that I guess it just didn't need clipping. But that quick stop does work wonders. I just grabbed some of that and put it all over her little toenail, and it did stop bleeding. And again, I'm just cutting this out here so the paper, the background paper, will still come through, and it will give it a little bit of a dimension. I'm just going to soften this little square here. Make that a little round. I'll make this a little round here too. Okay. All right, that's good. And then I think I will put this one. Let's see, where will we put this one? I'd like that little rose to show. All righty, I got to make a decision here. Let's see, maybe I'll put that there. And that will kind of take care of, or I'm wondering if I should put it. Oh, decisions. My problem is I like all of this paper here, and I kind of wish it was this way. Then I could, well, I can put it this way. I think it does go this way. So I think I will put it I think I'm going to put it right here. I think that'll go good there. And that'll kind of soften that section there. And if you find that when you, I'm probably off camera a little bit, but it's all right here on the, if you find that when you do cut your 4x6, 3.5x5, whatever size you want, and you don't have enough glue or something's coming up, just tack it down. It's really no big deal. Come on there, little doggy. All right. Or did I say I was going to put that here, or see, I already forgot. Well, we will put it here. Okay, so we have that down. And this is a good example. So if we start up in this corner and I do a 4x6, that'll be part of it. And I think what I will cut this up so you can see how it just adds a little bit of dimension. All right, so we have that one. Do we want a full green? We could put a full green. We have plenty of green over here. So let's get this one cut. I have to get this video done. I have to bring my son to Taekwondo tonight. If you've seen any of my other videos, I've explained how my son, well, it's been going on 2 months now, is on crutches because when he was at Taekwondo, one evening. He went to jump, kick, do whatever he needed to do. I don't know if he was breaking boards, if he was, what he was doing. But he came down wrong on his foot, and he ripped and tore it, and it's been going on 2 months now, and we haven't gotten an answer. He finally got a MRI last Tuesday. So I explained to him today, he's 23, and I explained to him, I said, you have to call and reconfirm your appointment tomorrow afternoon. We're getting that big snowstorm. And I said, you don't hear from this doctor. They don't call to remind you. So you really need to call to reconfirm. And with a storm coming, you have to make sure that they know, in fact, you are coming. Because the doctor that he's going to see is an hour away, an hour south from where we live. So he calls this morning, bright and squirrely, and I was in there with him. And of course, no, they have no record of him coming in tomorrow to see the doctor. Or I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So we explained to the receptionist who makes the appointments. It wasn't even, I don't even think she worked for the doctor. It was just a central appointment center. So we explained to her that tomorrow's, oh, sorry about that. Tomorrow's appointment was made 2.5 weeks ago. And he had the MRI. You get the picture. So it took 2 phone calls. And they called him back and said that everything was all set to go. And the doctor will see him tomorrow at the time that we had in our book. So they were very accommodating there. Then we had to ask permission, because my husband wants to go in with him, as I want him to go, because I have a feeling he's going to need surgery on this foot, because when he puts it down during dinner, his foot literally turns black. So I have a feeling there's a lot more going on, and I told my husband, you really need to be in that room when he reads the MRI results. But he's been on crutches for 2 months now, and that's about 2 months too long. So hopefully we'll get some answers tomorrow. We can move forward, because my son's working from home, but I just don't want him to get depressed, because this should have been taken care of a long time ago. And our local doctors, they don't know what they're doing. So we had to go out of the area. All right, a few more little, and I know this looks a little bit darker. The paper here is all the bright pinks, but I think this might just add a little more dimension. To this area right here. So let's take a look. So I'm thinking maybe we can line that up. I think maybe right on top of this here. kind of like it there because of this area right here. But let's see. Let's see if there's someplace else that may work better. I like it here because it rests on top of this and it meets right under here. But I don't like this here showing. But I could always cut along here to make a smaller journal card and have this on the bottom. And if I put it down a little bit, I don't like that. I think I'm going to put that there, and then I can cut along, and that can be part of a good portion of the tag or whatever that I make. So I think we'll put that there. And let me get this glue on here. So maybe in the next video, I will cut, I'll get maybe a couple of these. Boards. Ready to cut by putting on the little extra dimension. And then my next video, I can cut them so you can see, and then I can embellish them. Okay, let's get this. And we're going to put that right there like that. Okay, so we have that on here. And then I think what I will do is add some stamps. I have this, these are all faux stamps that I cut from a book. And I could actually put some of these, let me just move this, some of these on here. I know it's adding squares again, and that's what I didn't want to do. However, I think these would be fun to add because, again, if you cut, you might get just a little tiny area. You'll see. I don't know if you've ever done your masterboards like this, but they are fun to do like this. So I'll grab some. I like this because it has the greens and blues in it. Oh, let's see. There's a purple one. It has some purple in here, so we can use that. I do like working with masterboards, making collages. It's very relaxing. I came in, my husband got his second COVID shot on Friday, so I knew that Saturday we, not that there's any place to go, but we had to stick somewhat close to home. And now because we have all these squares here, I'm actually going to put this stamp here. So I wasn't sure how he was going to feel with the second stamp. Everybody was like, oh, you feel worse. My girlfriend got her second shot. She's a massage therapist, and she was able to get her shot Oh, she got her second shot, I think, a couple weeks ago. And she had a terrible she had a terrible reaction to the second shot. And when we went up, her mom and my husband and my girlfriend and I, we all rode together on Friday because her mom was getting her second shot as well. And it was about an hour and a half from here, so we carpooled. And both her mom and my husband did great. But they did say, you could feel nauseous and aches and chills and pains, and neither one of them felt that. So that was good. I was pleasantly surprised. And so I just spent Saturday morning. My husband slept most of the day because he said it did make him very tired. And my girlfriend's mom said she was the same way. My girlfriend's mom is 85 or 82, right around there. And she was quite tired. And she slept most of the day. So did my husband. So, and you see where I'm putting this? Again, where all these corners are. I'm just going to try to maybe soften that a little bit. So yeah, so I turned on my Netflix and I sat at my desk and I made all of these Masterboards. I used up a lot of, not all my scraps. I have a ton of scraps, but I got them used up. So it was a good day. It was a good Saturday, mainly because my husband was not sick. He was a real trooper. He pulled through and with no problems at all. And my girlfriend and her husband, they came over last night. I made homemade spaghetti and meatballs. And I made some homemade bread in my bread machine. So that was fun. I'm putting this one here. And I'm going with the purples. Obviously, you can see because, I mean, this has a little bit of the purple in it. Okay. And I don't know if I want to add one more. I don't want to add too much because I will be embellishing these. So I think we're just going to leave this. But you can see that it's going to add a little bit more dimension and color. So we're going to set this one aside, and I have time. I have time to do one more, I think. So I have to take my son to Taekwondo. I have to leave here at 4. So where was the other one? I think I was going to do the other. This is the other square one. Let's do this one. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these. And I think these will be fun to add. It'll be like adding some fireworks. So let's see if I can get these cut out in a decent amount of time. And let's see, maybe I really want to start with these. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'll start to cut. I'll cut what I can. It might take a little bit, might be a little bit faster. Normally I sit at night when we watch TV. I'm going to do it this way. This is how I usually do it. It gives me something to do, but then sometimes I don't know what I'm going to be using or working with, so that doesn't always work out. I'm trying to stay off my phone at night as well. We're trying to make a conscious effort to put our phones up. And I find that I've got a really bad habit of, I kind of have an addiction to vintage patterns. And I have so many now that I can't possibly use them all. But there's one gal that I follow on Instagram, and I do like her items that she sells. But if I would just stop going on, I'd stop buying. In one of my stories the other day, I put down what I received in the mail, which were 2 patterns. And I said, I need patterns like I need another hole in the head. But this time, of course, I'm going to justify. Oh, there's my stomach. Sorry about that. I'm going to justify my purchase by saying that I bought these really cute vintage patterns of little boys' clothes. And you just don't see junk journals. A lot of junk journals are the little golden books for little girls, and the same with tags. Everything is for little girls, nature, or women, or fairies. So I decided that I was going to make some tags, or maybe even a junk journal for a mom that has a little boy. I think I can do it quicker like this. And these are really cute vintage patterns. And they were only $2 each. So I'll get those, and I'll make some cute tags. And again, these don't have to be perfect. I just find it easier to use my X-Acto knife as well. So this morning I got up and I bring my book down. I'm reading I want to start doing some book reviews too when I do my videos. I'm a big reader. And since, let's see, July, I think my girlfriend gave me a stack of books. I've read 8 or 9 books since July of last year. So in the mornings too, I bring my book down with me, and I can read a couple chapters when I'm having my coffee. This morning my husband wanted to watch the news because he was interested in the weather, find out about that storm that's coming. So I didn't have a chance to read. So of course, this was the morning that I said, oh, I'll go on Instagram and I'll see what everybody's posted, and I'll just kind of do a catch up and That's when I saw Quirky Squirrel posted these, the vintage last night. She posted, had a sale on the vintage patterns, and of course they weren't sold out. And that's when I did a little shopping this morning, and then I'm like, I always have buyer's remorse. I think I only spent $8. It's not that. It's just the time and using everything that I buy. I've got to stop. But it was funny today when I was watching Gail Agostinelli when I was grooming Daisy. Gail says, my husband just doesn't, I don't know, she didn't say understand or he doesn't get it. Because I think she had just made a purchase, and she said, you think you have everything until you can't find the perfect item that you need to use. And it is true. I don't know how many times I've had a request from someone to make a keepsake card holder, and they'll want a certain color paper. Usually they leave everything up to me. They don't care what I do because they like my work. They like what they see and the combos that I pick. But every now and then when I'm not sure if there's an odd request, so then I email them and I start asking them all kinds of questions. And I need, colors, what are your favorite colors? Or if they're giving it as a gift, are they a reader? What do they do for work? Just so I can get a background of, do they hike? Are they an outdoors person? Are they vintage? Are they retro? Are they modern? Tell me as much as you can so I can get a feel for what I need to do. And a couple times I have been stumped, and it's like, oh, if you've seen my craft room video, especially the first video, I take you into my closet and show you all of my paper. And I have stacks and stacks and stacks of paper, 12 by 12 paper. And every now and then I'll have I just can't find the right paper or the right combo or the right color. That's only happened a couple times. I found myself down at Hobby Lobby standing in the paper aisle trying to figure out what would go with their request. And so far, I've never had anyone say they didn't like what I created for them, or I do like making those card holders because they're all very special. It has some very interesting customers that I've created for, and so yeah, it's all good. Right now I have my shop on vacation. I have nothing in there to offer. I just needed a break so I could get some of this stuff done, and I probably should have cut this out off of camera and come back to you folks, but I'm almost done, so just bear with me. I'm almost done. And I won't do the small spots, but some of these bigger spots, I like to have the paper show through. So I think that's good right here. So let's move this aside. And this I think I'm going to put right here. So that'll make a nice, when that's cut, that'll make a nice textured area. Put it right there. This is when you want to have a separate area and you want to take your Mod Podge and you just want to take a brush and brush all over it. And then pick it up and stick it down. But that's for another day. And of course, I just washed my mat yesterday. Got all the glue off it. And look what I'm doing to it today. Messing it all up again. A little craft mat. All right. We're going to put this right here like that. All right. And let's get this down here. Okay. All right. And we'll do maybe we'll just do these little ones right here. And I can just quickly cut these out. I just don't want to lose anybody here that is on a time frame like me. I'll add a couple stamps to this because I don't want to hold you up. I've done a lot of cutting here today. I'll add a couple stamps and then off camera I will add a couple other little dahlias that have the spikes to them. And then in the next video we'll cut these up, and I probably won't decorate them because I'll probably offer them in my shop. I'll put that one up there. But I can get them cut so you can see how these come out with all the little extras. And I'm going to put this one right here because of these corners. So that will go there. And then let's grab some stamps here. And then we'll finish up. All right, now this one has a lot of purple in it already. Purple and pink. So let's see if there's maybe a color we want to bring out. That green kind of goes with that. We could do a little darker color. Oh, let's see, what else do we have? There's really no blue in this. I don't want to go with the blue. I like to go with the green. And here's another. I think we'll put that there. And I'm finding more blue. There's a purple. I don't want to use the purple. And here's another. I guess we could go with the blues. I'm going to put that one here. And again, I'm adding this because there's a little section here with the squares that I just think. Let's see, I want to do a little different color. I do like this color here. And you could use your Yoo-hoo glue on this to give it a broader, I'm going to put that right there, to give it a broader, a quicker glue down, so to say. Put this one up here. But I just had this in my hand from the flowers, so all right. I think we'll add this one right here. And I would like to add another couple dahlias. So I think I'll cut that one here off camera. I'll add that. And I think I'll just add one more stamp over in this area here, because I'll put that flower down here. So let's see what we can find for another. Let's add this one. This is a nice big one. That'll break it up a little bit. And that'll be nice to it'll be nice, a nice area to cut and make a tag or all right, so let's get my top on this here because it's gonna keep oozing. And I'm adding this here again because this is a straight line down here. We want to break that up. There. All right. So I'm going to call it quits for today because I don't want to hold you up. When I see you in my next video, I will have added one of these flowers. I'll cut them all out, but I'm not sure what one I'll add. But I'm going to add it down here in this corner. And then we'll be ready to cut this one up and make tags and journaling cards out of this. And we'll be ready to cut this one up. So I hope you like these videos today. I hope it gives you a different perspective on your Masterboard, something a little different that you can do prior to cutting them. And that's it, everyone. Thanks for joining in, and I'll see you in my next video. All right, bye-bye.